The envelope sat on the kitchen counter like a loaded gun. It was a pale yellow, folded neatly into our stack of mail. Nothing remarkable, until I saw the name. Mrs. Claire Holloway. My wife's name. But the address printed beneath it wasn't ours. Not our street, not our neighborhood. Not even our city. I stared at it for a long time, the letters blurring. It wasn't a mistake. The company name was the same electric provider we used. Same formatting, same monthly billing layout. Just a different house. A different life. "Hey babe," Claire's voice called from upstairs, casual, warm, achingly familiar. "Did the mail come?" I slid the bill under a pile of grocery coupons before answering. "Yeah. Junk and a couple of bills. Nothing important." "Cool. I'll be down in a minute." The sound of the shower starting upstairs filled the silence. I sat at the kitchen table, my hand resting on that hidden envelope, pulse pounding against the paper. That night I didn't open it. I told myself it could be anything. A mix-up, a clerical error, maybe a rental property she forgot to mention. Claire worked in real estate. She sometimes handled listings, temporary arrangements, storage leases. It wasn't insane to think it was work-related. But something inside me, it wasn't logic. It was instinct. The same quiet voice that had been whispering for months. When she smiled less. When she spent long weekends prepping open houses. When her phone began facing down always. I told that voice to shut up. But I couldn't sleep. At 3 a.m. I slipped out of bed, padded down to the kitchen, and turned on the dim stove light. The room glowed soft gold. The envelope waited. I slid it open with a butter knife. The bill was for a 2-bedroom home in Richfield, 45 minutes away. The charges were modest, barely enough for a single occupant, but it was active. Paid on time. Current. Paid with our joint bank account. I sank into the chair. My chest tightened as if invisible hands were pressing down on me. My throat burned with a taste I couldn't name, something between rage and grief. The next day I didn't mention it. I drove to work, but I couldn't focus. The world outside my car looked blurred, unreal. I replayed moments from the past year like film reels. The weekend she worked overtime. The perfume on her clothes that wasn't hers, the sudden gym membership, the extra phone charger she bought for her office. Maybe it wasn't what I thought. Maybe she was helping a friend. Maybe. But my hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles went white. That night I checked her phone while she showered. Nothing. Clean as a whistle. Too clean. A single text from an unknown number caught my eye. "Same time this week?" She'd replied. "Maybe. Things are tight right now." I looked up the Richfield address. Street view showed a quiet cul-de-sac, pale blue shutters, tidy lawn. A house that looked like it belonged in a commercial for peace and security. 2 days later I drove there. It was early evening. Dusk painted everything in slow, melancholy light. I parked down the street, pulse racing so hard it made me nauseous. Then I saw her car. Claire's gray Honda parked neatly in the driveway. For a long time I couldn't move. I watched the windows, hands trembling on the steering wheel. When the porch light flickered on, my breath caught. A shadow moved across the front curtain, tall, broad-shouldered. A man. He leaned down, kissed her. The curtain swayed as they disappeared inside. I sat there until my eyes burned. Until the world around me, crickets, rustling leaves, the distant hum of traffic, faded into static. When I finally drove home, I didn't remember the turns. For the next few days I pretended nothing was wrong. Claire noticed. "You've been quiet lately," she said one morning, pouring coffee into my mug. "Just work stress," I lied. She smiled faintly, that same practiced smile she gave strangers. "You should take some time off. We could go somewhere." The words sounded cruelly ironic. I wanted to ask her why. Why she did it. Why she needed another life when ours wasn't broken. Or maybe it was and I never saw it. Instead I just nodded. Yeah, maybe. By Saturday I had a plan. I waited until she said she had to check on a listing in Richfield. "Mind if I tag along?" I asked lightly. Her hand froze halfway to her keys. "Oh, it's just a quick stop. You'd be bored." "I don't mind." She hesitated. "Actually, I might have to meet a client afterward." "Okay," I said. "I'll just go for a drive then. Might swing by the lake." Her eyes flickered, searching mine. Then she smiled again. Too bright. Too controlled. Sure, honey. She left at 4:15 p.m. I followed 10 minutes later. When I arrived, I parked a block away. Her car was already there. Lights glowed inside the house. I walked up the driveway slowly, each step heavy with the weight of knowing. Through the window, I saw her sitting on the couch, laughing. Hair loose, wearing the sweatshirt I'd given her on our anniversary. The man sat beside her. His hand brushed her thigh. She didn't pull away. I knocked. The laughter stopped. Her face appeared in the doorway seconds later, pale as wax. Daniel, she breathed. What are you doing here? My voice came out raw. I could ask you the same thing. Behind her, the man stood, early 30s, maybe younger than me, wearing the smug, uncertain expression of someone caught in a half-dream. Claire stammered. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is, I snapped. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've got another home. Another life. She looked down. I didn't plan this. I laughed, a sound that felt foreign in my throat. You didn't plan it? You signed a lease, paid bills, moved furniture, and you didn't plan it. Tears welled in her eyes. It wasn't supposed to go this far. Then how far was it supposed to go? I asked quietly. She didn't answer. The silence stretched. The man shifted awkwardly. I turned to leave, my vision swimming. Daniel, wait. Her voice cracked, but I kept walking. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers sat unsigned on the table. She'd moved out of both homes, the real one and the false one. I heard the other man left too. Apparently his wife found out. The electric bill still came, forwarded by mistake, addressed to her name. Same blue logo, same due date. I kept one. Not as proof. Not as evidence. But as a reminder how easily trust can be built, consumed, and paid for in someone else's light. Sometimes I sit in the dark now, no lamps, no glow. Just quiet. Because once you've seen a life powered by lies, even electricity feels dishonest.